The following program is made possible with the support of
BB&T, best bank in town since 1872. Papa John's Pizza, better ingredients, better pizza. Cookout, hamburgers, hot dogs, and great milkshakes. ESPN 630 AM, Wilmington's all sports station. And Sunny 104.5, Wilmington's best mix while you work.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sports Roundtable. Week 3 in the books, and we'll take you around to all 4 area high schools as we review this past week's action and look forward to Friday night's full slate for everyone involved. And let's start with Ashley. Tom Eanes alongside, and Coach, a big difference between week 2 and 3 for you. I know you go on a road against a very athletic team, and you've got to be pleased with the progress.
Oh, the kids, it was night and day difference. I thought it was even better intensity and more focus than we were against Hoke. So I was real pleased. They went down there and played a very fine Fairmont team. I mean, you know, had a chance to win, at least tie it up and put it in double overtime. So we went overtime with them. The effort was tremendous.
You've got to be pleased in the fourth quarter, have the lead, lose the lead, back and forth, but you seem to respond each time the challenge was there.
They did. We had to come up with a key fourth down play, and the kids did that. And then offensively to get in there and get a chance to get a field goal. And Chris Kane did a great job of using the 2-minute offense, and we were able to save our timeout. So everything worked that way. It's just we came out a little short.
Okay. Obviously, one of the mainstays of this offense is going to be the offensive line. I know you were pleased with how they graded out and the improvement that you saw.
Oh, compared to the week before, it was just night and day difference. We just got to keep improving every week like that. We made a couple switches, moved some people around, and so I think it helped us out a little bit. And they responded. So it's all we win with offensive linemen, I feel like.
Okay. To the tape we go. Overtime contest. Again, Ashley on the road as we take a look at the highlights, and we are underway.
All right, that's just Chris Kane pitching to Daniel Andrews there on the triple. Like I said, we were able to start running the triple a little bit better. We stopped a lot of people's penetration, and here's just Jesse Jewell at fullback, our B-back, and he had a big night. He had about 140 yards for us, and that's a sweep to Daniel Andrews. He got his first varsity touchdown, so we're pleased with that. And they throw the ball. It reminds me a lot of New Hanover, a lot of their passing game from the years past, except we had some big plays against them, but they also had some big plays against us. That's Bruce Kopka coming with a big interception. We had 3 picks, and the young man had not thrown an interception this year. There's the triple again, and that's that's Chris Kane. I believe he kept it on the triple there. But here we are in the shotgun, and we complete one out here to Connor Garnett. He's got 3 catches for us this year, which may not seem like a lot, but for us it's pretty good. Daniel Barrett, number 5, had a big game at defensive end. We played some loose defensive ends trying to keep that guy in the pocket. And there's Jesse again at B-back, and establishing him was very important. And there's Chris Kane again. He kept it for about 30-some on this one.
He had like 70-some yards on the whole night.
And we got a young split in here. We'll hit him with a pass here in just a minute. D.C. Russ, he's about 6'5", and we'll hit. He's number 9. But Corey Lawson here gets the interception against Fairmont. He got a tip, and he did a good job of getting the ball back down the field a little ways. But Corey's stepped up for us in the secondary.
And now the option outside.
Yeah, that's Daniel Andrews again. We moved the ball real well. I was real pleased with how well we moved it. Here's Chris. He scrambled out, and DC kept coming across, and he hit DC down the field. And like I said, he's a big target, and he's somebody that I think is going to be a good player in the future. And Andrews got in on a sweep. I think that may have been our overtime touchdown right there, and must not have been. That was earlier then. And here's Jesse Jewell again on the triple. And Chris is reading it every time. And here we are just having to throw the ball a little bit. We got some third down and long, and Chris was able to run and get us a big first down.
Okay. Fall just short in overtime, but again, you were saying you were pleased that they responded each time. An opportunity to respond at home this week against White Oak.
Well, White Oak's a good football team. We got our hands full again. Everybody's real good, but we're looking forward to coming home and playing in front of the home crowd. And if we can just improve as much this week as we did last week and play with that intensity, I think we'll be all right and at least represent Ashley well.
We saw a couple of interceptions. You've got to be pleased with the growth of that secondary because, you're going to face teams that are going to throw the football.
Well, Fairmont, they do, the week before we scouted them, there was 45 out of 49 plays they threw the football. So we knew they were going to do it. We knew we were going to have to make some mistakes. You just do that when you're playing against a good passing team. But to have 3 interceptions and, as young as some of those kids are, I was very pleased with what they did, and I thought they hurt us a little bit more with the running game than I expected. So you have to give up something, I guess.
Against White Oak, obviously, White Oak traditionally sometimes comes in with a lot of size, and size isn't necessarily your strength. Talk a little bit about that offensive line spacing and how that can help neutralize that for you.
Well, we're going to take splits. We're not going to be shoe-to-shoe like a lot of people line up. We just it gives us a better chance to try and veer down and block people and get in their way and fall slowly is what we call it, because I don't have those 6'4", 6'5" guys that can just bulldoze you. So we just try and reach people and veer down on people and that way. And the spacing helps us out a lot. Instead of being shoe-to-shoe where we can't, bulldoze, it really does help us out a lot.
Okay, an opportunity to go to 500 and pick up their second win of the year. It's Friday at home, Ashley and White Oak, 7:30 kickoff. And we'll continue right after this. Stay with us. And we welcome you back to the program. Well, a different week, a different road trip, a different result for New Hanover. Coach Motzinger alongside. And Kevin, young team, you were saying after week one, that wasn't the team you expected. No. This week was at Wilson?
Yes, sir. Before we start, I'd like to congratulate Coach Braswell, and I'm sure we all talk about that, but what a huge honor and most deserving. And you look at Hoggard High School and what he's brought football-wise to that place. He built that program, literally built that stadium, and just want to congratulate him.
Well said. Okay, let's talk about your trip to Wilson.
It was a much better trip home coming from there than it was coming from South Carolina. We were really concerned watching them on film. How big they are, how athletic they are. I told the coaches beforehand, you're in trouble when you got one college coach comes talk to you before the game, and then he leaves and goes join the other 8 college coaches talking to the other head coach. And felt like I did when I was in middle school again. But they were a very talented group, and our kids, we won the physical war, and that was different in the ball game.
So this is a young team.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned you were more physical.
Yeah.
Mentally, it was more of I guess there wasn't as much of a shock factor. You had the week off in week one. You felt put a little bit behind the 8 ball. These guys responded the way you wanted?
Well, they did. There were plays out there that Wilson Hunt should have got. Right. We had some blown coverages, some mental mistakes, being a young football team, but we had another kid step up, put pressure on the quarterback, and so we didn't allow them to get those opportunities, and that's something we didn't do against Conway. This is going to be a roller coaster ride early, and I never was much on Carowinds, told you that before. We're going to keep trying to get better so they understand, so we don't make those mistakes, because when you play Scotland County, when you play the Hoggards, Laney's, and those folks, they're going to make you pay. So we've got to eliminate those and just continue to get better.
Okay, we'll jump in the car and let's take a look at the highlights
yes,
then
sir.
if we can. Again, a big game at Wilson. We're underway.
Defensively, I felt like our front guys did a great job. Craig Bullock right there, we rolled him up from his free safety spot and made him an outside linebacker. We moved our fronts around. We moved the football all night long. Malachi Mosley and Teron Piedra, Teron there on that carry. We're trying to find that guy to establish himself, who's going to be the tailback. Ramon Simpson would have been that tailback 100%, but when We lost Malik. Now Malik, he's got to go out and be that speed, be that slot for us. Right here defensively, they didn't have an answer. They tried to line up and hit us in the mouth and hit us in the mouth, and that wasn't working for them. And so then they got in their gun. We hadn't seen them getting shotgun on any of the films we had from them, and just from past stuff we were able to get going into the season. But they tried a lot of different stuff, and our kids handled that and responded. I didn't make this highlight film, so I'm kind of hesitant, not real sure what we've got coming next. Right here, Ramon Simpson. They tried to kick it away from Ramon all night on all the kickoffs and punt returns, and this time I think their punter made a huge mistake, because when 21 gets in his hands, he can do some special things.
Triples wide.
Yes,
you
sir.
really spread them out.
We try to. We try to spread you out and take what you give us. Right here, big Marcel Anderson pulling from backside guard all the way up into the end zone, showing his athletic ability at 305 pounds. And
how important coming off of last week was it for you guys to get off to a quick start?
very important. I felt like if something bad happened early, we were going to be in trouble, especially when our kids saw their kids coming into the locker room and going in, and after getting tape, I had 3 or 4 kids say, "Coach, they prettier than New Bern," and that's pretty scary. You don't want to see too many folks prettier than them, but they do. They have some good-looking boys that can play. Really stretching the playbook. A lot of things. In the past 2 years, we were in ripping lists. We got trips open. We were great coaches when we had Trayvon Brown and Jason Murphy, and we found ways to get them the ball. Malachi Mosley right here, junior, had a great sophomore year with JV. And he continues to understand pass and pre-snap, and he's a strong kid. Does a great job on the fake right there. Our kids are doing a great job with the little things on the fakes, and we've got to continue that. Nakima Walker, I think he ended up having 3 sacks on the night, and he's a special athlete, and we really feel like he's a Division I type kid. He runs that well, and at 6'5" and 3/4, he's a pretty special player. Another punt return. We did a good job pinning them back. Besides the physicality of it, our defense really did a great job of pinning them back and make them march. I thought we did much better in the kicking game.
Gave you a short field too.
Yes, sir. That first week is always tough, especially in the kicking game. I think a lot of times we as coaches don't quite put enough emphasis on it, and we did a much better job in the kicking game and making them have a long field. We kept moving fronts. We stemmed a lot, moved guys around to try to get their big offensive line confused on where they were going and blocking assignments. Malachi right there, just lowering his shoulder and getting low, getting those hard run yards. That's not proper English. Here again, Malachi again. He had a big night. He told me before the game that he wanted the starting tailback spot, and I feel like he did a good job with that. Right here, Kenny Jarrett. We were beat deep. We got a bunch of midgets running around out there at DB, and that's not healthy, but Kenny does a great job popping the ball loose.
A lot more composed this week?
I think so. They were still nervous, I think. We talked about it last week. Our kids, I joke with our coaches, say we don't do a good job of handling failure, but we don't do a good job of handling success either. And that's something with this inexperience. We don't have those guys right now that I feel like have really taken the reins as the leaders. We've got a bunch of kids that are doing the right things, but I don't know if we have that one kid that is that vocal guy. And so right now that's relying on us.
In the 30 seconds we have left, back on the bus at Purnell Sweat.
Purnell Sweat's always in the past. Coach Isle team's very physical. Watching them on film, we've got to use this week to get a lot better. We've got to worry about ourselves, keep getting better, understanding so we don't have those busting coverages, miss assignments up front on either side of the ball, and just continue to grow as a team.
Okay, and we'll continue on right after this. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program. Well, in the first 2 games we highlighted, a lot of offense. Conversely, let's talk about Laney's defensive effort and Coach Greg Dietz alongside it. Your defense is not only establishing itself but it's just putting a signature basically on every game you're playing right now.
Yeah, Coach Yeoman's done a great job over there on the defensive side of the football. He's got those boys playing like just kind of his mentality. That's the type of person he is, and that's how he was when he played there at Laney High School. And so, he's got them flying around, swarming to the football, and basically the starting defense has not given up a point all year long right now, and they're taking a lot of pride into every situation to make sure they don't give up a score. And they did a great job against Clinton, and I think Clinton was a little surprised when they came out on the field on how good they were doing.
Yeah, it was about because Clinton usually takes a lot of pride in trying to be very physical, and it seems like you really took it to him early. And if you take that element of the game out, I mean, it can really help you long term.
Yeah, we were worried going in just that we might not get many shots offensively.
Right.
That they would hold on to the ball the whole time, and offensively we seem to have some situations we put ourselves in where we either turn over the football or we just don't capitalize on some of our long drives. And that was a situation in the game. But the great thing was the defense kept them 3 out. We got the ball right back, and they did a good job of just putting us in great situations.
Yeah, if you're charting that game, I mean, you control the number of snaps in that first half.
Yeah.
That just has to help.
Yeah, I mean, it was 3-0 going into halftime, but we charted it, and we had over 50 plays in the first half, which is just unreal for an offense to have that many plays and still only have 3 points. So you can be very frustrated about that, but there's a lot of things we did much better. Our offensive line dominated up front. Javon Batts had a great running game, and our freshman tailback also, Malik, did an unreal job, at tailback. So we're excited about the things we have going offensively, and a bye week coming up here is a good week for us to fine-tune some of our offensive things.
Okay, well, let's take a look at some of those offensive players. You mentioned Batts had the touchdown run. His strength in this one was what?
His strength was just determination. All right? He had one fumble which we really focused with him on the off season, but he did a great job on everything else. Just very determined to be. He wants to be that workhorse. We were actually even joking with him on the sideline at halftime, just saying, hey, if you cramp up, you're running all week next week. You're going to run all week, because he's a bigger kid. So, we mess with him a little bit about making sure he's in shape. But man, he did a great job, and that offensive line basically helped to improve his situation.
Okay, so the offensive line helps you up front, and then all of a sudden Lane looks a lot more settled this week as well.
He does. We got a kid back who actually suffered an injury also. We got a kid back at receiver. He came through. We could run some jet stuff, and then the speed was back at our wide receiver position. But he unfortunately got hurt, and he's done for the year. So we lost that kid. And now there's another kid. Hopefully will come back for New Bern. We're excited about that. Broke his hand, and those type of weapons will help Tyreek. But in all, the receivers just played so much better. LaQuay Cox, we didn't throw him the ball at all. We stood him up because we wanted to throw him the ball. He was backside. He worked his butt off the whole game. And we didn't throw him the ball one single time, but he was very unselfish the past 2 games. We had to put him at tight end the game before and block every play. And if you know anything about receivers, that's not what they want to do.
Yeah.
And they don't want to run a guy off every time and not get the ball to him. But he did that 2 weeks in a row, and we're going to try to be creative and find some other ways to get him the football for the work that he's putting in, and he's also going to help our offense.
So you're seeing the positives that those of us that are watching the ball we're not seeing, but you're seeing. Let's talk about defensively. A couple of big interceptions in the back.
Yeah, Daquan did an unbelievable job at corner. He had 2 interceptions. He had an interception the game before. He covered one of the better receivers that he'll see, over at Rose, and we were real worried about at Rose. And he did a great job in shutting him down. And then he has 2 interceptions this game. And this kid's confidence level is just, through the roof. Sam Frank, also another safety, had an interception for a score. Daquan could have scored on his interception, but he cut back instead of following Colt. I would have probably followed Colt, that big guy, all the way to the end zone. But he's just a great guy, and we're just excited the way he developed from his junior year to his senior year. And you can just see that confidence is building in that defense, and that mentality that Coach Yeoman brings, it's building, and we're excited about where they're going.
A subtle thing, a couple of years ago with the program, you couldn't sit there and say that this is my offensive unit, this is my defensive unit. You can do that now. That has to help just as far as minutes.
Yeah, it does help big time. I'd say last year we dipped a little bit. A couple years before that, we definitely tried to go both ways, or we had limit the guys that went both ways, and we were pretty successful with that with Sheehan's senior year. But coming back this year, we're determined to make that happen no matter what, because we saw the results of last year of trying to have to play guys both ways, and it just didn't work to our advantage. And we just kind of bought into the philosophy, if you have a receiver, he might not be the best receiver right now, but by the end of the 10 games and the end of the season, you got to work with them double the amount of time that you would the year before. That will be better, and I think that's really helping a lot of our kids develop each game here.
Hanover felt that their bye in week 1 was a setback for them. You now have a bye pretty early in the schedule.
Yeah.
How do you work the bye week? Does that help you going into New Bern in 2 weeks?
bye weeks help just to recover. All right, they don't help as far as maybe getting ready for New Bern sometimes. Yeah, you get that extra week to get ready for New Bern, but it's hard to keep high school kids focused. So we got to make sure you give them some time off, because we need some time off to get healthy. But at the same time, we got to get some work done, and sometimes it's very difficult to keep them focused. So that's kind of our main goal this week, is keep them focused, understand what task at hand we have the following week, with a big New Bern team, and then at the same time we got to get some rest on those legs and get some guys back and get them healthy.
Okay, so Laney's 2-1 after 3 weeks of play going into the bye week, and the defense has been dominant. When we come back, we'll go over to Hoggard. Stay with us. For our final look at area high schools, we'll swing over to Hoggard. The Vikings are 3-0. Scott Braswell alongside, and Coach made mention beforehand. First of all, congratulations on the honor of naming the field after you.
Yeah, it was a very, very humbling experience. I had no indication that was going to happen, and had no idea that my family was in town, including my 2 sons, so it was kind of emotional. I just fear that it's their way of telling me it's time to retire or something.
You still have the keys, right?
That's right.
That's good,
so
okay.
We'll see, but again, that's a reflection of all the great kids that have played for us, and we kind of had Letterman's night, which I didn't know about that part, which I guess was part of an excuse to get those kids to come and see the ceremony. But a lot of former players there, and they deserve credit for the success that we've had, and there's a lot of great coaches over the years that have been a big part of the success that we've had. So those guys deserve credit too.
So it's a reflection of the program and your coaching staff.
Absolutely.
3-0 is a reflection of a quick start, and against Sweat, you took advantage of turnovers, field position. In fact, we can go to the highlights if you want right away. Let's do that. Take a look at some highlights. A quick start once again for Hoggard.
Great job here, opening kickoff. Landon Mays kicks it right about to the 1-yard line. Good job getting down there. When you can start off a game, talking about field position and short field, you can start off a game with the other team backed up inside the 10. That's always a good thing. Defensively, our front continues to play well. Tyler Beeson, Malik Moore, Kyle Delaney, Devin Bond. There's the block punt there. I think Hashim Michelle might have gotten it. Great job there. We're unfortunately stuffed and end up kicking a field goal. Landon Mays gives us the early 3-0 lead. Defensively again, Julius Reynolds at Mike linebacker position doing a great job. Malik Moore, Devin Bond, Kyle Delaney, Tyler Beeson up there. Here's Austin Schonleber, a little speed option, keeps it for first down yardage. I think this is our second drive of the game. Here's Austin, a little quick slant to Harrison Smith. Harrison gets first down yardage as well. Good little drive here. We're going to hand it off to Trevor Brown, fullback, who does a lot of blocking, H-back for us. It's good to get him in the end zone. That's a senior who's worked really hard and done a good job, and we're happy for him. Trevor gets hit one of his 2 touchdowns from Friday night. There again, our D front playing really well. This is just an outstanding play. Gaddafi Turner, great cornerback play, sophomore cornerback. Sauce just did a great job on that play, gives us the ball back, and we're able to start to take advantage of it. We're going to come out here. Now we have Xavier Johnson at quarterback. We're doing kind of a 4 vertical thing. Hit Luke Ward down the seam, and Luke takes it down for a good first down yardage. Here we are about midfield, miss a blitz here. Xavier does a good job of keeping his composure, evading the rush, throwing deep. There's Randall Emerson on deep post for a touchdown. Really helped break the game open there. Purnell Sweat kept coming, kept making plays themselves. They're going to score and make it 17-7. That's a great job by our defensive ends there, containing the quarterback. Eventually, we're going to get the ball back. And here on this drive, this is part of an 80-yard drive here. It's 17-7 at this point. Again, Austin back to Harrison on the quick slant for first down yardage. We tried to limit our tailback runs. Here's Austin again, a little quarterback keeper, about 14, 15-yard run. Trying to get Keevan Thompson healthy, so we're trying to limit his stuff. This is a little screen to Keevan. Good job out front there. Cooper Booth. Luke Ward out on the block there. And then we do a little kind of wildcat type of thing, just put some big bodies in there and plow our way into the end zone. It's right before the half. So we end up going in at halftime, I think 31-7, which gave us the breathing room we needed. Great thing was we were able to start getting some guys in. There again, D front, Malik and Devin. I think that was also Kyle Delaney. Here Malik gets an interception. If I'm not mistaken, this is third quarter play. Thought Malik might score on this one. got close, and we're able to get the ball, I think, inside the 10-yard line there, and pretty quickly score. Austin takes it in on a little keeper and get the score. I think this is third quarter. It's probably 38-7 right now. Great job of containing the quarterback. And I think Malik was player of the game with the local radio station, so that was a great honor for him. There's Mason Whitlow, one of the sophomores we brought up from JV, coming up making a good tackle.
Another pick up
Yeah,
front.
Devin Bond continues to be a beast there at the DN. He does that to our offense in practice quite a bit. Here's Trevor again, taking a little trap play down close to the goal line, and then Trevor's going to take it in. Again, good to see Trevor get some carries there and get to have some success running the ball. Deep front, there's Larry Rouse, got some backup guys in there. Gabe Young, all doing a great job. Will Dykes, Tony Moore, all those fellows doing a great job. Great coverage there by Coyne.
45-14 victory. A couple of unique things. You're going with two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a balancing.
Yeah.
You're pleased with how that's going so far?
Yeah, I tell you what, Austin did a great job in our first game. I thought Xavier did a great job in our second game. I thought both of them did a great job in our third game. They're both good quarterbacks. They're both very capable. On Monday, one of them might be a little bit better than the other, and then on Tuesday they switch roles. So we just continue to work them both, get them both reps, and they both bring slightly different strengths to the table, and so we just continue to work those guys, and they're doing a good job.
We saw it on the tape. We saw a couple of big plays, but we also saw the ability for you to drive the football. That's
very
huge.
important, yeah. We had a 17-7. We had an 80-yard drive, about 4 or 5 minute, very efficient drive, and that's something we really have been lacking, I think, previous to that. And so that's hopefully encouraging. We've got to continue to get better in the offensive line. That's going to be a point of emphasis this week. We play a Wake Forest Roseville team, or now they're called Wake Forest High School. Very talented football group. And this is the type of team you see in the second and third round of the playoffs. And so this will be a great measuring stick for us just to see how much we've progressed over these first 3 weeks. We've got 3 wins, and yet we know there's a lot that we need to continue to work on. And so hopefully we'll have a great week in practice and a great Friday night.
Okay, that'll be Friday night, 7:30. 2 teams coming in at 3-0. Again, Wake Forest at Hoggard, a 7:30 kickoff. That's our program for this time through. We'll see you next time on Sports Roundtable. Good night, everybody.